One of my favorite meals to eat when doing Ketovore type life, sardines for instance. Sardines is a ketosis kickstarter. It gets you going almost like a Ferrari. It's like just taking off on the starting line. And another thing I like to use is eggs. Eggs is a wonderful way to lose weight. I've been losing a lot of weight deliberately by eating eggs, sometimes doing egg fasting, and just mixing the two together at times just simply works for guaranteed weight loss every single time that I tried it. Now this week I only did 3 days, 6 eggs in a pan, 1 can of sardine per meal, and I have to say that this is awesome. I mean, it is an absolutely amazing product. It gives me enough added fats when I'm cooking my eggs that I can still get that energy, and I don't feel fatigued from just doing like a regular type egg fast. I used to do hard-boiled egg fasts, just egg fasting in general, and I used to feel kind of bogged down through the week. And since I've been doing a meat-based diet, carnivore type diet, ketovore type diet, this was a welcome addition to Now, I did have a couple things happen throughout the week that I was just quite thrown off by because I was looking for other types of electrolyte sources. This is something I am not going to recommend to anybody because this just did not work for me. So I bought a case of coconut water at Costco, and it wasn't exactly what I was hoping for. Granted, it does have a lot of electrolyte potential. It has a massive amount of potassium in here. It might work for some people. It does not work well for me. When I drink this, I get a numbness in my mouth. My throat gets numb, my tongue, my lips, everything gets numb. It's almost like an allergic reaction. So I did a little bit of research into why my mouth was getting numb, and I found out that it's pretty common with the high level of potassium that's in coconut water. So buyer beware. Try it if you want to. I'm not going to recommend this to anybody. Now I have a lot of it for some reason. Something else that we're getting ready to do here at the channel is we're getting ready to upgrade this old stove, and we're also getting ready to upgrade this new refrigerator. Some basic other upgrades we've done to the house is we did go out to Costco and we bought a memory foam mattress for me and the wife because when you're 435 pounds, you tend to crater the bed. And now that I'm lighter, I can actually get a better night's sleep on a newer mattress. That was wonderful. Now, some of you are probably wondering why I called this week a Ketovore type weight loss plan. Well, this whole container right here, which I bought specifically because I wanted to use the pickle brine, the leftover pickle brine. This was just basically dill pickles from Vlasic. They are 0 calorie and also Ketovore type eating principle because 0 calorie doesn't do anything. One thing I did find out, because I have been getting chronic type leg cramps and stuff like that, if I ate 2 of these dill pickles when doing a similar fast, or not necessarily fast, but it's like fasting mimicking type carnivore eating or ketovore type eating, these pickles cured my leg cramps throughout the night. So I ate 2 of these pickles. I saved the pickle juice. I just got done hard boiling all of these eggs right here, and eventually we're going to get them peeled and put them in the pickle jar for later. Now, I always recommend people that have pickles on hand reuse the brine at least once or twice, and then after that just toss it out. You can rinse and repeat, buy some more pickles, etc. But it's just a great way to reuse the pickle brine in here. Now, also something you might notice, there's some extra stuff in here, and I did add a little bit of turmeric, and it's going to give the eggs that really nice orange color. I also added in a little bit of parsley flakes just for flavor, about a tablespoon of garlic, and that's about it. I just had to shake the heck out of it, get it all mixed up, and then once I get the eggs peeled, I'm just going to put them in here, let them sit for at least 7 days in the fridge, and you're going to have a yummy, yummy keto type snack. Now, something else I decided to upgrade this week was my old plastic water bottles. This is just what I bought when I got started. I wasn't even thinking about the PAFs or whatever you want to call those little plastic whatever nonsense, I don't care. But I used these for about a year, and it was time to get rid of these things. You can see they don't look great. I work in construction, so everything gets dirty, but it's just one of those things I wanted to upgrade. I decided to reach out to Amazon and look for a really, really affordable type water bottle system. This right here was the answer to my problems, and so far I've used it for a couple of days. I put my electrolyte mix in there. I have a really good cooling effect from the bottle because it's insulated. It's really well made. It's good quality stainless type steel, and it keeps everything nice and cold. Then I went with 40 ounces because I like to carry 3 water bottles with me to work. So I carry one that's with 1 liter of electrolytes. The other 2 are just simply water. And since I'm away from the home and I'm away from other water sources, I have to carry about a gallon of water with me at all times when working on remote jobs. But now the nice part about this product that I do like is that it was extremely affordable, anywhere from $12.99 to $15.99 depending on the color that you pick. And there's several different colors you can pick. But inside the box comes this nice water bottle, of course. And it's got these handy features like this here if you want to carry it on a carabiner. Now this top is really nice as well. This is what I call the gulping top. A couple spins, it just opens right up. You can take a couple really good swigs of water if you gulp water like I do. Now when you open the bottle and look on the inside here, it comes with a straw. Now this straw does not work with the gulping type lid. It works with the other lid that comes in a little package in the box like this. So the nice part about this thing is if you should damage one lid, you're always going to have a backup lid, hopefully somewhere in your junk drawer or neatly stashed away. But when you open the box, it has a really nice plastic wrapper. That's all we have inside the box. And then we have this other edition here, which is the flip top version here, and then the straw just simply goes on the bottom like that. I don't typically like to take this setup here out in the construction world because my bottles get kicked around, and when you're on the job sometimes this straw just fricks off inside the bottle. And so far when I'm putting this on here, it's not super tight, it's pretty loose. So this is probably something I wouldn't use, but it fits better on one end than the other. But you put that on, it does give you some basic options for ways to use this water bottle. But the reason I don't like using it is it's got all these little extra surfaces, little flip top, and I can get a lot of dust, dirt, and crud in there. And I work in a junkyard type atmosphere with a lot of dust and debris. So this doesn't really work for me. That's why I'll be using this top right here. And if you're interested in checking out this product, I'll be sure to leave an affiliate link down in the description section below and in the comment section. So I was pretty sad to hear that a lot of restaurants, IHOP in particular, it's part of their secret recipe for making eggs a little bit fluffier, is that they like to put a little bit of pancake batter in the egg. Now that's really not something I'm going to worry about too much because I focus on a 90-10 eating principle, which is basically 90% meats and fats, 10% I love my life. I try to keep it keto friendly at all times, but sometimes we do have a hiccup, like throughout this week. We went throughout the week. My wife and kids, they went out to Wasilla and visited family, and while they're out there, they don't tend to eat the greatest. They all came home sick. Now, as a result of that, when they got home, they didn't feel good. They were searching for feel-good type foods, which typically isn't the best thing to do. And I think that's why we need somebody a little bit healthier and happier in the house at all times to hopefully try to mend these situations and help heal your family. Because I noticed from my previous experience of being sick, I would tend to gravitate towards more unhealthy type options, like candies, cookies, cakes, ramen noodle type concoctions that I used to just build with just so many different ingredients. It just made it a mess. And typically what happens is that's what we do, is we tend to carb it up, get a lot of sugar in our system, and that's exactly what sickness wants. And it tends to propel our sickness for an extended period of time. So if you want to be sick all the time, it's pretty easy. Just eat a lot of carbs, just eat a lot of sugars while you're sick, and you're going to stay sick, and you're probably going to be sick for a lot longer than you really want to be. But if you want to get a little bit healthier, focus on healthy type foods like eggs, meats, cheeses, dairy in some cases, within reason of course, because dairy can really toss everything for a loop at times. So I try to avoid dairy when I'm sick. Now another thing I like to push on sick people is electrolytes and water. Just definitely drink electrolytes and water. Try to stay away from sugary type drinks like soda pop. Even orange juice can be loaded with sugar. It does. If you find a good orange juice, it only has the natural sugars in it, but I'm not a big fan of orange juice anymore after I found out what orange juice was doing to my body, because I was overdoing it with orange juice. Now, there's been a big debate I've been having back and forth with this one guy on the internet about healthier type options for sugar. Well, sugar in itself does one thing. It creates glycation, glucosamine response, and I'm not very good with vocabulary, I apologize. But my point is if we get our sugar source from high fructose corn syrup, which really isn't that far off from regular sugar like cane sugar. It's only like 5 points or something like that the guy was talking about. And I was like, for starters, when you're putting a super sweetener like high fructose corn syrup into your body, And then you're taking things like healthy foods, vitamins, and nutrition. That super sweetener just shocks our system in a really, really negative way. And what it does is it just blocks our ability to absorb vital nutrients. That's a problem. Now, regular cane sugar that actually comes from a sugar cane doesn't do it near as much. Now, that stuff that we tend to buy at Walmart, that granulated sugar, that is not even cane sugar. That tends to come from beets in most cases. So it's overly processed. It's processed from a beet. It's not necessarily the sugar you want to even be using for baking cookies or cakes if that's what you still do. Now, the basic type sugars that come in something like an orange or an apple, banana maybe, I don't worry too much about that. That is a more healthy, natural type source of sugar than high fructose corn syrup, because when I eat those, I can still absorb some basic vitamins and nutrition. I'm not too worried about it, and I just try to keep it on the down low. Well, I think these eggs are finally cool enough to start peeling. I'm going to start adding them to this, and then we're going to let that sit for 7 days, and we'll crack this out probably next week about this time. So if you're looking for more keto-friendly foods, especially on the meat-based side of things, I do have an entire list right here for meat and poultry. Let's see, we have beef, pork, chicken, duck, turkey, lamb, and venison. Now, I know a lot of people don't do a lot of seafood in their diet, but there's also a lot of keto-friendly seafood options, which is salmon, tuna, mackerel, sardines, shrimp, crab, and lobster. All great options for staying in ketosis. I would highly recommend like smoked oysters or sardines, especially if you want to kickstart ketosis. There's a lot of different ways to mix and match things that seem to work specifically for weight loss. Because like this week, for instance, when I was mixing sardines and eggs, yeah, I was experiencing daily weight loss, but then I had a hiccup. And never forget the incredible edible egg. Amazing, totally keto friendly. You can eat a ton of these. I mean, I've eaten anywhere from 30 to 300 eggs in a week. I've lost a ton of weight eating eggs. Just very good. Now, I have found out recently that if you eat raw egg whites, it is kind of a nutrition type blocker. So definitely don't eat raw egg whites. Cook your egg whites, eat your yolks, enjoy your life, be healthy, happy. Just don't try to survive alone on eggs because they don't provide exactly everything we need. So we have to mix and match other foods. But back to the hiccup I had this week. Well, like I said, the wife came in, she had pizza. I did wind up getting into the pizza. That was an absolute disaster. I wound up eating 3/4 of a pizza, and it wasn't even from a pizza place that I like. It was from Domino's, and I was eating out of frustration, anger, a little bit of sadness. There were some things going on in my mind that were just making it that much easier for me to fall off the wagon and do that throughout the week. But thankfully, I did get some weight loss this week. It wasn't perfect, but when I got into that pizza, then I was like, you know what, I'm just going to spend the rest of my time, snacking on whatever's in there. And I was just trying to get it completely out of my system, and that's what I did. And then I went right back to eating 6 more eggs and a can of sardines. All right, so let's talk a little bit about my weight loss for the week. Now, I've been going throughout the last 3, maybe 4 weeks. I stopped counting because my weight's been stuck in between 260 pounds and, right in between 260 and about 267, right in there. It's just been going, it's been a roller coaster. It's been going back and forth, up and down. I haven't been perfect all the time either. That's something to mention here because once in a while, like I say, I do dive into pizza. Sometimes I might have a random cookie, but it's my ability to actually get back on track pretty quickly and try to just focus on a week of something without a whole lot of distractions and nonsense that keeps me going and keeps me from going the other way. But one of the most reoccurring numbers that I saw was 264.5. Like, it seemed like every day when I got home from work, specifically when I got home from work, I was seeing 264.5 on my scale, almost no matter what I did, what I was eating. I was eating a lot of steak, reindeer sausage, some eggs were in the mix. I eat very little bacon, very little pork. I try to stay away from poultry of any kind because poultry just slows me down and sometimes pushes me back the other way, especially if it's something like chicken wings, for instance, because there's a lot of calories in chicken wings, even though they are carnivore friendly. And I was getting weight loss like almost immediately from this keto friendly type food. And then just like that, it was like almost magical. The day after, I was down to 259.6. Again, roller coaster type situation. It was getting very frustrating, things that I was finding throughout the week. And then the next day pops around, and then I'm seeing a weight of 262.1. So that means I'm probably messing around with a little bit of water weight. Water weight messes with our mind. Now that's something that I talk to people, especially when they're getting started, is that, man, if you see a dramatic drop of like 4, 5, 7, 14 pounds, I mean, typically that's water weight coming off. Now that water weight can come back on just as quickly as it comes off. And that's basically what I was experiencing throughout this week. Because the next day when I did see my weight, it was 262.1. Now it's just going up and down. We're just messing with water weight. Now when you eat sardines and eggs like this, you tend to experience a lot of relief in your legs, your upper legs, down through your ankles and your feet. I was able to walk a lot easier, get my boots on without a lot of problems. Everything just tends to work better when you start pushing keto-friendly type options in your mouth. So the following day I jumped back on the scale and I saw a number of 260.2 pounds. Okay, that's a little bit better than the previous day, but we're still not being able to get down below the 260-pound milestone that I was searching for. I'm not going to worry about it. We're going to keep pushing on through next week, and hopefully we can get down there. But now my final weigh-in for the week, I usually do this every Saturday. I try to get a weight and see where I'm at on Saturday morning. That's typically where I focus everything on, is on Saturday. 261.3 pounds is my final weight for the week, and we're just going to leave it at that one. And then we're hopefully next week we can actually get down below 260 pounds and stay there. Now the thing is, when you're doing a keto type fast like this, fasting mimicking, using stuff like eggs and pickles, sardines for instance, I can lose a whole bunch of weight reliably, sometimes 2, maybe 3, 4 pounds a day. But then when I go back to eating a regular type, meat-based type diet, my weight is going to naturally go back up. And if I actually start doing a little bit more physical activity, I'm going to start retaining a lot more water. But that is just because our muscles are being more active and they're not exactly sure what's going on. So your body's more inclined to like, okay, we're going to pack away some extra water just in case we might need this later. We're not sure when we're going to get hydrated again. So yeah, that's where the number game comes in hand. And then it also affects the brain in that way. It just really, really warps your mind. Like I said, my family got home sick, so I did really try to do a good job of, feeding them some steak, some healthy type meats. My daughters are sitting down here. They just love this food. My wife's over there. She's just jamming out, eating her steak as well. I try, guys. I try to do my best all the time, and I'm just sitting here eating eggs and sardines. I really want a steak today, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do because I got to pickle these eggs. I got a whole bunch of other stuff to do. But one thing I did do a couple weeks ago is I just started removing overly processed foods, and especially stuff that had food colorings and high fructose corn syrup. I tried switching my family over to a cane sugar type lifestyle, just in hopes to make everybody feel a little bit better and healthier. All right, guys, important channel announcement. Yeah, we are trying to focus on our health and nutrition in this household, along with mine and my family's combined. Now, my wife did have something to say about all of this.
Oh, hi. I have no idea if my husband is actually going to use any of these video clips, but now that we as a family are trying to improve our diet, our health, we're trying to switch up all of our snacks and all of our meals, we're trying to be healthier like my husband is, I figure I can start sending him some video updates that just kind of include a little bit about what we're experiencing. And our oldest daughter, our middle child, last night, well, yes, she was on the potty. She was telling me about how she already notices a difference in her tummy, in her gut, with eating healthier. She's like, I've noticed that when I'm not eating as much junk, my tummy isn't hurting, and I'm not having a hard time going to the bathroom. And she's starting to notice changes. And I mean, it isn't just recently. Like a month or two ago, I started telling them, we need to be eating more meat. We're not eating enough meat. And that was like the only change I was trying to make, was just increase the meat intake without even taking anything away, really. I just wanted to increase the meat intake, and my daughter was already feeling better. Then I said, we're going to take away this one specific cereal, Cap'n Crunch. Oh my gosh, I almost never eat that cereal, but I ate it like 3 days straight. I had at least one bowl of it because it was just so yummy. I loved how it tasted, the sugar and everything. I loved the way the milk tastes with it. And it wrecked me. I did not have a good time on the toilet. And neither did my daughter, the same daughter. And she noticed after we cut out cereal, she noticed right away. She was like, I'm not having such a hard time on the toilet anymore. So I have no idea if my youngest daughter is noticing any changes. And then with our oldest kid, our high schooler, our son, anytime I ask him, son, are you hungry? You want some steak? Without hesitation, every time. He's like, yeah. Oh yeah. Like, he's on the steak wagon for sure. So we've got this, dear. Thank you for helping us make the changes. We all need them. And I needed the help making them. There's no way I could have done this by myself. There's 3 of those kids against me. It's technically 2 kids against me because our oldest is basically an adult and he's pretty smart. But yeah, I'm not fighting those 2 little mini-me's alone. I can't do it. I needed your help for this. I love you.
I love you too, dear. Thank you for providing me with a little bit of, what in the world is that? Phones, man, they just want to keep making noise. I don't know. But here's the thing, guys. You know, nobody's perfect. No family is perfect. Now, when you're trying to stay healthy and happy in life, it's important to keep a happy balance within the house. This has been a struggle I've been having this entire time with doing a meat-based diet, keto diet, carnivore type diet. It seems like every time that I try to move forward, I find something like a wall. It just smack. I just run right into it. It slows me down. It puts me back. But as long as I continue to use the carnivore diet, keto principles and stuff like that as tools, and just keep going and learning as much as possible and just upgrading every aspect of my life, this stuff just works. It works so well. I mean, there's so many people out there struggling with obesity like myself. I mean, I just want to come out here and hopefully help others understand that weight loss without exercise and a whole lot of nonsense is totally possible. Just pick certain foods, stick to those certain foods. There's a whole list of options that I mentioned earlier that you guys can use. You can lose weight with no exercise, only eating foods. Just try to skip out on all the snacking throughout the day. That's basically all I do, is I just do an OMAD type lifestyle. I don't bring snacks to work. I don't pack a lunch. I don't go searching for food throughout the day. And then I just come home and eat all my calories within 2 to 3 hours. That's how I've been losing this weight. And I've only been focusing on that for 5 work days a week. And then on Saturday and Sunday, I just kind of do whatever I want to do. If I want to take a trip, go somewhere, eat some random food somewhere else, I just prepare myself to feel bad for approximately 3 days. That 3 days seems like the most common number for those of us that are trying to get healthy and we eat something off the rails, quote unquote, off the rails. You guys know what I mean. But when I start adding stuff back in, I typically don't feel great for about 3 days. And that's a pretty good average. So, and during that 3 days, I'm eating healthier, you know, single ingredient type foods, and I'm just starting to heal myself from whatever I ate over the weekend, and I start to feel much better throughout the week and typically experience a minimum of weight loss maintenance or some weight loss throughout the week. All right, guys, I hope you found this video interesting, useful, and maybe beneficial to some of you. If you could do me the favor and subscribe to the channel and figure out, hey, am I gonna keep losing weight or not? It should be an interesting story. I do enjoy talking about this type of stuff with you guys. Expect some live streams to happen here and there, but today we're gonna be heading out of the house. We're gonna be searching for a new refrigerator, and we're also probably gonna source out a new oven for over here, because I have an oven picked out from Samsung and it has an air fryer. So that way I can air fry all my steaks for the entire family at the same time, and I don't have to wrestle with this little tiny air fryer behind me because I can only cook 2 decent sized ribeye steaks in there at once. So again, I hope to see you guys in the next one. Oh, thank goodness, I was actually recording this time. I thought for sure I forgot to hit record. Well, That would have been such a disaster. You know how many times I do that when making videos? I just talk and talk and talk, and then I forget to hit the record button. Love your life, guys.